What is up, people? The internet, it is me, Real American Politics, back in with a new video, and today, it is time that we finally do a deep dive into the one Senate race that I've been avoiding like the frickin' plague. I have not talked about this race much. Well, next Tuesday is the primary, so I think it's time that we, talk about, of course, the Missouri Senate race. Oh boy, this is gonna be a controversial video. I can already tell the comments are not gonna be pretty. That's all I already know. Now, before I forget, of course, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes. Of course, go follow that mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. Also, join the channel. Just for 10 cents a day, you can join Real American Politics and help in supporting the channel. Help me, I should say, bring daily content to all of you. But also, there's a $5 offer per month. If you accept that deal, you get, well, a shout out at the end of each video and a good feeling in your heart knowing you're supporting Real American Politics. Alright, enough of this crap. Let's get into it. This is going to be a tire fire of a race. So, Missouri Senate race is one of those races that for once this cycle, it's not the least bad candidate that I'm picking. This is a race where who I support is the best of the best. I mean, all four of the main candidates have their strengths, and they're actually good. I may have some problems with all of them, but they are, generally speaking, good Senate candidates and would be good senators. Either way, I think no matter what happens, there could be a significant upgrade over a certain, Roy Blunt. And all four of them, they could help Missouri Senate delegation become one of the best in the country. Obviously, you have Josh Hawley in the other Senate seat, but whoever the candidate is would potentially help put Missouri above Tennessee. Again, the Tennessee Senate delegation, boy, that is based. But Missouri could potentially be up there well, alright, because all these candidates are good. Now, there's obviously four main candidates, technically three. We'll get to Billy Long in a second, but the main three, of course, is former Governor Eric Greitens. Yeah, that's gonna be a hot topic, alright? You got U.S. Representative Vicky Hartzler, and you got Attorney General Eric Schmidt. Now, I have to say something about all three of them. They all have their strengths. Now, Eric Greitens, I know a lot of people are going to piss me off. I honestly think he's possibly the best on the issues of the four main candidates. On economics, I should say. Social issues, he's kind of just generic from what I've seen, but overall in economic issues, he's most likely the best on the issues of these four main candidates. That is why he is a good candidate. Vicky Hartzler, she is a conservative and cultural warrior. Now, she's had some votes recently that have been questionable, but her social voting record has been, well, one of the best in the country. So, very solid representative as well. And then you got Billy Long. He's kind of a weird one. I mean, he seems very MAGA, generic MAGA. But he would be one of those people that if Trump says vote on something, he would vote on it. He is a unique representative. He's kind of a meme, but he actually has a shot at winning. And Eric Schmidt's a weird one. My issue with him is not his policy. I think his policy is actually kind of solid. The problem is the people supporting him, which we'll get to in a second. So as you can see, all four of the candidates, in my opinion, they have actual strengths. Not like in Ohio where you have Josh Mandel possibly being the second best candidate. That's pretty bad. But all four of them, I see their strengths, and a couple of them have their weaknesses. We'll get to the elephant in the room in a little bit. But for the people that are supporting each candidate, Eric Greitens definitely has more of the, populist base behind him. Yes, I know, Sebastian Gorka, not so much. But you got the New York Young Republican Club, they're a very good organization. And you got some other people that, they, generally speaking, actually have decent endorsements. Even Michael Flynn, I don't like to say that, but his endorsements actually are decent when it's, not like Tim Raymond or something crazy like that, Rathman, whatever you want to call the clown in Wisconsin. As for Hartzler, it's kind of just, very bland. That's all I'm going to say. I mean, there's nothing special here. Yes, you got Josh Hawley's endorsement. That's a solid endorsement. Roger Marshall, that's pretty solid. That's kind of it, all right? It's not a bad endorsement list. It's kind of just, okay. Deb Fisher. Whoop-de-frickin-do. Now, Eric Schmidt, this is what I have a problem with. This is what I don't trust Eric Schmidt on. His endorsements. Look, I think Schmidt on the policy could be a solid voting senator. The problem? He's endorsed by some pretty bad people. Ted Cruz, That's not a good sign. Cruz's endorsements this cycle have been a freaking mess. And the rest of these are just jokes. I mean, Huckabee Sanders is okay. And the only oddball really is Peter Thiel. Now, the thing with Thiel is, whoever he supports, generally speaking, they're very good on the issues. And that's why I'm like, okay, these endorsements by Cruz and, people like Brian, that's not a good sign. But then you got Thiel supporting him. And that gives me hope that if Schmidt does end up pulling this off, he would be a good senator. I think he would be I wouldn't say he would be like a Blake Masters type, but I could see him being, a decent, good senator, kind of like Josh Hawley, maybe not as good as economics, but still a solid enough senator. So that's the issue with all of them. As for Billy Long, he has basically no support. His entire, campaign strategy is banking on this one thing, getting Trump's endorsement. That's his number one goal. That's all he cares about, and he really sees it that if he gets Trump's endorsement, he would have a chance of winning. Would it be a high chance? No. But it would be a chance of winning because the polls do show Billy Long, single digits. I mean, he's still going to probably crack 10% of the vote. But a Trump endorsement I don't think would really change this race in favor of Billy Long. The other three, though, a Trump endorsement could potentially get them over the edge. Now, I recommend people just ignore these two polls. Ignore Emerson and ignore Remington especially. These people are saying, oh, well, Eric Schmidt's at 33 and 32%. Look, I usually like Emerson as a poll, but the problem is they're missing a bunch of the Trump vote. Like what happened in Pennsylvania, like what happened in Ohio, like I called, by the way, they're only polling very likely voters. You know what that means? These Republican voters that have been voting for every single primary for 16 straight years. Those are the type of voters this pollster has pulled. And I like Emerson, but that's not good. I mean, you have a lot of these Trumpy Republican voters that for the first time ever, they're voting in a Republican primary, and they're not getting picked up in the poll. As for Remington, go look up what Bear said about them. Essentially, Remington is just one big corrupt scam. It's essentially owned by Eric Schmidt, and Karl Rove is pushing it. It's that's not a good sign, right? And I know people are going to say, but Missouri Scout. Yes, Missouri Scout is usually a decent pollster. The problem is when you get Remington involved, they've been just bad this cycle. So really, I recommend people look at the Trafalgar poll from last week, or I should say a couple days ago, and right here. And they show Eric Schmidt at 27%, Vicky Hartzler at 24%, and Greidens at 20%. And, it does appear a Trump endorsement could put any three of these guys over the edge. That's what it's looking like. Trump's not going to endorse Hartzler, though. That's a given. He already said he won't. But the other two, if Trump does endorse one of these two, they're winning this race. I mean, you got 16% undecided. Those undecideds are going to break for the Trump-endorsed candidate. Will be a lot? Maybe. Maybe not. But it still would give the edge. And, folks, this is a very close race. I don't care what Emerson said, with Schmidt at 33%. It is a very close race where Trump's endorsement kind of, decides the race. Now, the question many people have been asking me is, who do I support in this race? This is such a tough one. Because Eric Greidens, in my opinion, could be the definition of one of the best senators we could potentially have. That I know a lot of people are going to be pissy in the comments about, oh, well, look at the court case. Go watch Yankee Perspective's video. on the court case, on Eric Greitens as a whole, the whole court nonsense. Go watch it. You will realize some people on Twitter, they're not telling the truth what's going on here, all right? There's some big holes in his former wife's story. And plus the whole stuff that happened in 2018, Yankee does a great job at debunking. I'll link in the description down below, but go watch the video. So Eric Greitens, in my opinion, has potential to be policy-wise one of the best senators in the country. However, I do admit one thing. He has a ton of scandals. Every 5 minutes he has a new scandal. That's the problem. And the fear is one of these times, one of these scandals is going to be, not just bullshit. It's going to be a real scandal, like he did something very illegal or very bad, not some hearsay nonsense. So again, go watch the video from Yankee perspective about the whole Greitens situation. But that is why I do think Greitens has potential to be a great senator. I firmly believe if he's elected, he has the high risk, high reward factor to him. He's either going to be a top 5 senator, no scandals, or he's going to be one of the worst senators with a ton of scandals. As for Eric Schmidt, I think he's the safest option, especially with Peter Thiel supporting him. But again, that doesn't mean everything, all right? Peter Thiel, he's usually spot on with endorsements, but again, that should not be the number one indicator if a candidate's going to be great or not. I mean, yes, he hits like 99% of the time, but one of these times, he may miss and it may cost us bad. But I think Eric Schmidt would be a solid senator. Not a bad one, just, or I should say not perfect one, just, above average. Someone, maybe better than like a Tuberville, but that's that. So I do, at the end of the day, think this is the state of Missouri, all right? This idea that Eric Greitens would lose a general is stupid. Absolutely stupid. All right, these polls that have Greitens, losing. The problem I have with them is, well, they were months ago. Now, Greitens winning them. And that is why, folks, if you live in Missouri, I do recommend you vote for Greitens. Look, I can understand if you support Hartzler, Schmidt, or Billy Long. I can absolutely understand it. They have their strengths. But I just think in a state like Missouri, let's take a freaking chance, all right? If he ends terrible, mock me, all right? If he ends up being a terrible senator, just mock me. But if you want to get rid of freaking McConnell, Greitens the best option to truly get rid of that clown. Long, maybe, since I think he's going to vote for however Trump says if he does end up winning. Hartzler and Schmidt, I don't really think so. That's the problem. So if you want to get rid of McConnell, actually push some change in this country, I do recommend Greitens. But again, I can see the reasoning for Hartzler and Schmidt. Again, don't bomb this video because I think Greitens is the best candidate here. Yes, some of the scandals, if true, are disgusting and this clown should be locked up for life, if it's true. But so far, the evidence I've seen, hearsay, 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 hearsay. She said, he said, she said, he said, crap. And all this child abuse nonsense, just watch the video from Yankee perspective. He does a great deep dive into why a lot of it's bullshit. Anyways, folks, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, and yes, of course, go follow the mysterious Twitter account in the description down below. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next video. Godspeed to all of you.